I'm Ella, and today I'll be talking about verbs, specifically on simple past and past perfect tenses. So just an outline of what I'll be talking about today. I'll start off with simple past tense, and under that will be regular and irregular verbs because these will be important in order to construct simple past tense as well as past perfect tenses. And after that, I'll discuss past perfect tense and end it off with comparing simple past and past perfect tenses. So for simple past tense, it is a verb to express an action or a condition which has already happened. So let me give you an example. My sister likes the cake. That's its present form. To make it in past form, my sister liked the cake. Likes became liked. Another example. Please give the cake to your sister. Give is the verb, our present verb. I gave the cake to my sister. Give became gave. So, what's the difference between regular and irregular verbs? Because this will help us on how to construct simple past tense verbs. Regular verbs, it forms its past form by adding ed or d to the base form. These are the base forms, so just some examples, such as climb, like, and walk. Its corresponding past forms are climbed, liked, and walked. You add ed or d depending if the base form already ends with an e or not. Please take note that for regular verbs, the past form is the same for its past participle form. Another thing to take note of is that some regular verbs have spelling changes when ed is added, and there are two conditions. First is if it ends in a consonant and a y, such as this example with the word spy. It ends in the consonant p and the y, plus ed, you drop the y, replace it with I, and add ed. Thus, spy becomes spied. The second condition is that if it ends in a single vowel and a consonant, such as in this example, drop. The single vowel is O and the consonant is P. If you add ed, it turns into dropped. That means you make it a double consonant plus ed. For irregular verbs, it forms its past form in some other way than by adding ed or d to the base form, such as these examples. We have the be verbs, be, am, are, is. We have buy, give, and read. Its past forms was or were, bought, gave, and read. And its past participle, been, bought, given, and read. Please take note, and this is very important when it comes to irregular verbs, is that the past form and past participle form are different when it comes to irregular verbs, except for some cases, such as for verbs such as read and buy. And for irregular verbs, it's either there's a spelling change, it's an entirely different word, such as the be verbs, or the spelling remains the same, but it could be pronounced differently in some cases, such as read, its past form and past participle form is read. So, past perfect tense. It's a verb to indicate that one past action began and ended before another past action started. To clarify this further, let me give you an example, as well as the formula for the past perfect action. It's had plus the past participle. As I said a while ago, the past participle for regular verbs is the same as past form, but for irregular verbs, on the other hand, the past participle may be the same or it may be completely different. So in this example, I had realized that I left my book at home. Had realized is the past perfect, and left is the past action. So the past perfect action takes place before another past action. This means the realization happened first. It began and ended before another past action, which is left. Let me give you another example. I had gone back home from the market by the time my mom told me to buy vegetables. Had gone is the past perfect, while told is the past action. In this case, first I got back home from the market, then my mom told me to buy vegetables. So when do we use simple past and past perfect? Let's consider these two sentences. For the simple past, we were relieved that Vesta used washable paint. And for the past perfect, we were relieved that Vesta had used washable paint. For the simple past, this sentence doesn't tie Vesta's act of using washable paint to any particular moment in time. It just said it just happened. It didn't really say that there was another past action that occurred right after. And it could be interpreted in different ways, such as, we were relieved that Vesta was in the habit of using washable paint. On the other hand, for the past perfect version of this sentence, with had used to be the past perfect and relieved as the past action, it is clear that you're talking about a specific instance of using washable paint, which means first, Vesta had used washable paint, then we were relieved of that action. Had used washable paint began and ended before another past action which was relieved. To summarize, simple past tense is used to talk about things that happened or existed before now, or just simply like storytelling. Its formula for regular verbs, it's base form plus ed or d, and for irregular verbs, it's either change of spelling, it's a different word entirely, such as for be verbs, or it remains same, such as our example a while ago with read and read. For the past perfect tense, its use is to look back from a certain time in the past to tell what had happened before. Its formula, it's had plus the past participle. Don't forget that for the past participle, for regular verbs, its past form and past participle are the same. But for irregular verbs, it could be the same, but it could be different entirely. My advice is to really practice using these verbs on a regular basis to distinguish which ones are regular, irregular, which ones are past perfect, and which ones are simple past, because it actually helps you determine if one action is related to another action or if it just happened. So that ends my session for today. Thank you so much for listening, and see you next time. Bye!